grab your mocha, grab your latte, grab your cappuccino, whatever the hell you're drinking, settle on in and relax. It's your host for today's video on Coffee Shop Comics, Jobbers and Goons. Now, we are introducing a new series. I figured a great addition to the channel would be to straight up start covering new comics and things going on in the comic world. So that's what we're going to do here today. And the first run we're going to cover is going to be Immortal Hulk. I'm going to do this series 5 issues at a time. That's the standard for this new series. And we continue it until we finish the story. So for this, for example, 50 issues, it's going to be a 10-episode series. I'll also combine it at the end to make it the whole movie. I want to do this series because I do enjoy giving commentary. People think I'm pretty entertaining. So why don't we kind of match that with the comic side of things, as well as I can give my perspective as a power scaler and on composite lore. So overall, you get several things in one video when I cover these comics. So at the end of this series, you will fully understand Immortal Hulk. I hope you guys enjoy, and without further ado, let's begin. The reason I chose Immortal Hulk as my first series to cover is because Immortal Hulk is really divisive for the fan base. A lot of people don't know where he scales. They want to know where he scales. A lot of people think it's the best Hulk ever. Some people didn't like it, so I decided to check it out myself, give it a true, full, deep dive read, and to me, it's an amazing run. So we're going to get right into it. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know in the comment section down below what other comic book series I need to cover on this channel, and let's begin. So this Immortal Hulk, issue 1, starts out kind of establishing what this Hulk's purpose / drive is. So this Hulk that we're seeing, this iteration of Hulk at the beginning of the story, is one that seems particularly driven on punishing other characters. That is, if he's around evil, if he's drawn towards evil, sees something happening, for example, a robber, someone that shoots somebody in a crime, things like that. This seems to want to drive him towards further rage and thus wanting to dish out punishment. Now, this is very interesting because this is a Hulk that appears very lucid in the fact that he is pretty articulate in what he thinks. You know, he's like, I think you're a piece of shit. I think you're a sinner. I think you've done this and that. Like, he's very bold in his proclamations of certain events, right? And not only this, this Hulk is weird in his capabilities and how he uses his abilities. For example, in a confrontation with a crook, he states, and we see, that he literally can smell liars. Like, he can detect and literally has a sense for evil, distrust, all these things, and can just weed it out with his own senses. This leads to a weird version of Hulk, to say the least, but one, in my opinion, and we know Ewing's going for more like a horror thematic run with this. I think it's super interesting. So smash the like button if you enjoyed it as well. Let's get this to 100 likes for part 2 of the series. Now, we see that this Banner / Hulk duo now seems to have the Hulk in a Punisher-like state. As I kind of mentioned before, he seems to be drawn towards evildoers and punishing them for what they've done. Banner kind of questions if he's become a bad guy, like if he's developed into a monster, and this leads to him seeing this version of the Hulk in his mirror, alluding to the monster brewing within. That's on like a different kind of vibe than typical other Hulk personas have been. So what's interesting is around this first issue drop, right? In the author notes and responses to things like fan questions. This is also in the official comic, by the way. So it is not some outside material. It's actually located within the comic itself. What makes this a bit of controversy and very fun to dive into is that early on, Ewing states right away that he is writing the strongest Hulk of all time, or at least up to that date, and that this version of Hulk is different because it's truly articulating on this symbolism in his nature. Like, this is a Hulk that is not like the other Hulks because, simply put, he has divine symbolism. That's what the Hulk truly is in his purest form / nature. So that is something noted by the author early on, and I want you guys to keep that in your mind as we progress through the story. Like I said, I want you guys, by the end of my Immortal Hulk run, to have a full grasp on the story, both narratively and like where Hulk would actually scale and how strong this version of Hulk is. So right away, moving on in the series and this episode, we see that this is a very complicated Hulk in that it is dealing with very philosophical terminology and ideas. For example, this is a run that we see in a diner moment with Hulk that is clearly hearkening upon Jungian concepts, Jungian archetypes. These things in nature, if you look into the Jungian philosophical points, are beyond dimensions, time, space, numbers, math, logic, all these things. So to be of such, think of this as like whatever you believe for Platonic concepts, but this is on steroids. That's like Jungian archetypes and concepts. This is immediately being demonstrated as being a part of the narrative writing in this Hulk run. So yes, you're right away, you should be alerted. You're going to be using some pretty high tier philosophical scaling in the comic run. We then see, the run visiting the moment where, of course, Hulk famously died in runs prior. Banner was the one that died. However, simply put, can't kill Hulk. So Hulk survived and eventually brought back Banner. But what makes this intriguing is that in this run / in this moment, Banner, because of this incident, had lost some of his genius. But he is still brilliant. He's just not where he used to be intellectually. He believes, and this is kind of scary, that his newfound Hulk persona upon returning, this new version of the Hulk manifestation, it's surpassed him in brilliance, which is pretty horrifying to think, especially given this Hulk seems to be driven towards a Punisher-like state. We then see the more narrative horror thematics pressing upon the story as this Banner moves on, and he starts discussing the fact that this Hulk, his power, his form is purest and most magnificent at night. Like, this is a form of the Hulk that is from the shadows, alludes to the shadows, a part of the shadows, whatever you want to call it. This is a completely different type of the Hulk and has different conditions upon which he excels in. We then see that upon visiting a cave, Hulk, Banner is attacked, right? Like, he is attacked by some weird gamma ghost. And upon getting bodied, Hulk pops out, right? Hulk says some shit like, yo, you're trying to kill my boy? Like, I might not fuck with Banner like that, but I live here. You can't just stomp him out. I take that shit personal. So he pops out, and immediately he starts going back and forth with this ghost, beating the shit out of it. And one who, like, normally it's not a being that we would see someone like Hulk fight, but Hulk automatically is tearing into it, right? We then are made privy to a little bit of a backstory on this being, as it reveals it was some kind of gamma being / ghost / character whose son had spoken on the green door. So immediately this green door concept is being pushed our way to where now we're being aware, hey, there's some access point, there's some kind of higher form or lower form of existence, and you'll see why I say that, that has an access point with the green door. And this is something related to Hulk and something that Hulk will have some run-ins with. That's made pretty obvious early on. So this opening passage continuing into the story suggests that Hulk will have no limit in his nature, which is pretty scary to think that even compared to others narratively, like other versions of Hulk, this Hulk's supposed to be limitless. That's pretty terrifying to think about. Now, this is where one of the most controversial aspects of this story gets introduced. The one below, or the one below all, is first mentioned. This is important as this is supposed to be some representation of the opposite of creation. Like God's creation, the light of creation, it has a shadow. It has a completely other side or bottom to it. This, conceptually, is where someone like the one below all would come into it, right? And this is a character that's hinted at here, talked about some, and then it's stated to have ties to the green door. This is when Hulk is first tied into the one below and the green door. It's stated that in the existence of the Hulk, how he operates, how he heals, how he fights, his nature now, Hulk is potentially the shadow of the one below. So right away, we're seeing Hulk have like this religious tie, this satanic / opposite of God, or the one above all, the one below all, being someone represented by its shadow, which would be Hulk. So right there, where you should know we're about to get some crazy scaling for the boy Hulk, because that's insane. And narratively, putting the Hulk at a level like that, where it's at least the avatar of the strongest refute / anti-power to the one above all, the one below all, this would put this Hulk rightfully around the range of the strongest Hulk we've ever seen. Like, that was not a bad statement from Al. Definitely just based on how he's writing them early. So narratively, let's keep it moving with this story as we're kind of getting close towards the end of this episode, as we're cutting through the different runs. And obviously, like I said, this episode covers issues 1 through 5. Now, Sasquatch comes in, right? Because the return of Bruce Banner is a big deal. Alpha Flight, basically Canadian / reject Avengers, they get involved. They're investigating this potential return of Banner, right? Because if Hulk's back, he's lurking and no one can really tell what he's doing, especially because he's potentially being tied to these crazy events. They need to investigate him, bring him in. Well, Sasquatch is revealed to have some pretty important ties to the character of Hulk in this run. Sasquatch is shown to have been Banner's old roommate. And when he saw the process Banner underwent, the Gamma experiment gone wrong, and he saw the potential monster made in the Hulk, he was like, damn that, I gotta copy my roommate. I can't let him go out like that. So he tries to copy the Hulk, and he gets to that level where he does. And he breaks out. This is how the form via trying to copy that experiment of Sasquatch came to be, right? So Sasquatch is fully invested in potentially bringing his old best friend and roommate back. That's how he ties in with the Hulk here, in case anyone's wondering why the hell Sasquatch is popping up in the story. And we see them visiting the Arctic Circle, right? Like, Sasquatch has had dealings with the Green Door. This is important, the Arctic Circle, because in Marvel Comics, there's certain points throughout the Earth that, like, houses a weakened aspect of reality. And within this weakened aspect, you're able to access reality and like different parts of it. And at this point, we see that if you're at the Arctic Circle, you can access the green door. Like, this is one of the best points in existence for the green door to manifest. That's where Sasquatch had his run-in with it, right? We then see Sasquatch go on to kind of explain to Banner, who he's meeting with at the hospital. Banner's trying to be incognito, but obviously Sasquatch popped up on the kid, right? And Sasquatch goes, yo, like, Banner, you're denying your true nature. There's a lot of weird shit going on. Like, I need you to come with me. Shit's about to get real. Banner's not going for it. Banner's like, look, back up. I don't know what's going on. And this is where it gets weird. And it gets kind of crazy because Sasquatch starts talking about the one below. And he's like, the one below all / the one below. We have ties to that. Like, you need to understand that. You need to embrace the demonic heritage that you come from. And Banner's like, yeah, this boy's tweaking as he is running into a tripping version of Sasquatch. This, of course, this demonic Sasquatch, it causes the reveal of Hulk. Hulk comes forth and is like, fuck the rap shit. Can't let you beat up on my boy Banner like that. He immediately starts battling Sasquatch. And he's like, look, I know we fought Sasquatch before. We fought with him. We know about him. We know about his time in Alpha Fight. All these things. This isn't Sasquatch. This is a Sasquatch that somehow got in a mix with some kind of demon from One Below's realm, accessed through the green door. And this demon is possessing Sasquatch. So think about the scaling implications right there. Hulk is brawling with a Sasquatch who literally has had run-ins and is being possessed by a demon from the opposite side of creation, like the bottom layer of creation, which should be high outer. So he's technically fighting a high outer demon right here that's possessing Sasquatch. Major W for those that love high tier Hulk scaling. We then see Hulk confirm and kind of agree with the likes of Sasquatch. He's like, yo, I'll give it to you. We're from the green door. So Hulk, the persona itself, is like agreeing and coming to terms with being from the green door / having ties to the below realm. This Hulk embracing this notion / idea of him being from the green door and having an interaction with that is a huge deal, obviously, because we're like, okay, Persona's outright acknowledging it. Pretty nuts. We then see that in brawling with this below realm possessed Sasquatch, Hulk, upon going back and forth, sees his father in the reflection of the mirror with Sasquatch, which is nuts. We see this later in the run, and it's kind of known if you're a reader and you know the lore of Hulk, but he has a terrible relationship with his father. His father is someone that was very abusive to him in his youth, caused him a lot of pain, a lot of hate, and in a lot of ways helped create and forge this Hulk. This, Hulk that has a sense of needing to lash out and hurt everybody that could hurt Bruce. And while this was supposed to trigger Hulk and maybe catch him by surprise, it pisses him off. And he starts beating the shit out of his dad, who, of course, at this point, he's seeing Sasquatch as kind of that way. And in this battle, he kind of acknowledges that he sees the one below via Sasquatch in this exchange. He's like, you know what? Screw it. If you are made from the same energy as I am, whether Gamma is mystical in nature, scientific, regardless, if you're made of the same shit I'm made of, we are compatible. And that means I can absorb you. So using his gamma drain or energy drain ability that this Hulk has, he starts draining Sasquatch until eventually he puts this possessed version of Sasquatch down. That's right, bodied him. We then see that Hulk, after battling this, is passing by a car. And after absorbing Sasquatch, he sees the reflection of his dad in the mirror, which is an implication that he absorbed the devil or his devil. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Immortal Hulk. This was issues 1 through 5. I did the lore, the narrative, went over what happened, talked about the scaling implications, all these things. Let me know what you think of this episode. Let me know what you think of the story and the comic in the comment section down below, as well as if you want to see the next episode fast, ASAP, smash the like button, and if it hits 100 likes, I'll drop the next episode and we'll go through issues 6 through 10. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out my main channel, Jobbers and Goons. I'm dropping a Spider-Man Rogues video over there today. Definitely check it out. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see y'all later. Peace.